All right, now let's try our hand at creating a custom emoji. And I came up with the idea for this one day when I had an appointment across town and my car broke down. And so I was texting the guy that I wasn't going to be able to make it, and I wanted to convey the fact that I was not happy about things. But the angriest emoticon on my iPhone is this one here, which is more petulant than furious. And so I figured I should create this one as a kind of backup. And so here's how it works. I'll go ahead and switch over to the starter document here, in which I've drawn a few path outlines. And then I'll switch to the layers panel and turn on the happy layer there in the background. And while it's a little confusing to have all this stuff on screen, it won't be here very long. So I'm going to go ahead and select the teeth. And I need to save off its gradient. So make sure the fill is targeted here inside the gradient panel. And then click on a little page icon at the bottom of the swatches panel and call this guy teeth. And then click OK. All right, now I want to grab this path outline right here, the grumpy mouth path, and I'm going to go up to the edit menu and copy it, or you can press Control-C or Command-C on the Mac, because we're going to need it again in just a few minutes. All right, now let's go ahead and lift the appearance attributes from the happy mouth by switching to the eyedropper, which you can get by pressing the I key, and then I'll just click on the mouth like so. All right, now press the V key to switch back to the black arrow tool and marquee these paths right here so that you select the eyes, the reflection, and the big orange head in the background. Then press the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac and drag this blue square on the right side of the layers panel up onto the angry layer in order to duplicate all those paths. And then right-click anywhere in the document window, choose Arrange, and choose Send to Back, or you can press Control-Shift left bracket or Command-Shift left bracket on the Mac. All right, we don't need the happy layer anymore, so turn it off in order to protect it. And then click off the path outlines to deselect them. And let's go ahead and zoom in on the mouth here. Go ahead and scroll up as well. And I'll click on that mouth to select it. And notice a couple of things here. First of all, I think I neglected to mention this, but I cranked the line weight value for the mouth up to 18 points. And yet we're still having a problem with the gradient going in the wrong direction. So I'll target the stroke here inside the gradient panel, and I'll click on the reverse gradient icon in order to put the softness on the right side of things. Now notice that we have this point right here, and the best way to get rid of it is to click on the word stroke up here in the control panel and switch to a round join, like so. All right, now I'll press the escape key to hide that panel, and I'll go ahead and once again target the fill inside the gradient panel, and I'll change it to teeth in order to produce this effect here. So we still have the inner glow, which is great, but we just have a different gradient. All right, now go ahead and select this crease path right here, and we're going to stroke it with the gradient by first cranking the line weight value up to 16 points, like so. And then I'm going to design a custom gradient by first targeting the stroke here inside the gradient panel, and then I'll grab orange 2 right there, and I'll drag it and drop it onto that gradient ramp. And I'm looking for a location value of 50%, which I seem to have achieved just by dumb luck. And now I'll go ahead and Alt drag or Option drag this guy over in order to create a copy. I'll grab this color stop and get rid of it. And then with the last one selected, I'll change the location value to 95%, and I'll take the opacity value down to 0%. And the reason I'm doing this is because I really want the gradient to go along the path outline. And I'll achieve that by clicking on the second stroke icon right there, and I get this effect right there. And notice if I were to move this color stop to the absolute end of the gradient, then I'm going to see a break right there at the end of the path. And I don't want that to happen, so that's why I backed off the location to 95%. And now I'm going to get rid of this first stop, and I'll go ahead and Alt drag or Option drag the last color stop right there until I get a location value of 5%, like so. And something seems to have gone wrong right there. I'll go ahead and select the color stop at 50% and increase its opacity value to 100% in order to create this effect here. Now I'll press Control-0 or Command-0 on the Mac to back out. All right, I don't want to be all the way backed out though, so I guess I'll zoom in a little bit. Now notice the teeth there. I'll go ahead and click on them. They're all grouped together, and so I'm going to increase the line weight value to 4 points. I'm going to change the color of the stroke to this shade of gray, in which the RGB values are all set to 179. And I'll also click on the word stroke and set the cap to round cap and the corner to round join. At which point you'll notice that the teeth go outside the mouth, which is not cool. And so I'm going to go ahead and retrieve that copied mouth path by going up to the edit menu, and choosing paste in front, or you can press Control F or Command F on the Mac. And then I want you to click on a second swatch, which represents the stroke, and set it to none so that we have an unfilled and unstroked path outline. Now what we're going to do is select the teeth, go up to the Edit menu and choose the Cut command, or you can press Control X or Command X on the Mac, and we're going to paste them into that empty mouth path by first selecting it like so, and you'll want to confirm that both your fill and your stroke are set to none. Then I'll go ahead and switch to the 2-column toolbox so I can see these options right here that start with Draw Normal. You want to click on this guy, Draw Inside, in order to make it active, at which point you'll see these dotted corner boundaries. Then go up to the Edit menu and choose Paste in Place, and that'll go ahead and paste the teeth into that mouth path. Now go ahead and switch back to the Draw Normal mode by clicking on its icon, and then I'll return to the single column toolbox. And just to make everything blend in, because we want the shadow to cover the teeth as well, go up to the opacity option here, click on it, and change the blend mode from normal to multiply. And you'll end up with this effect here, after which point press the Escape key, and then press Control-Shift-A or Command-Shift-A on the Mac in order to deselect that path outline. All right, that takes care of the mouth. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't. We've got a problem with the teeth here. The gradient's going in the wrong direction. So I'll go ahead and click inside that gradient, and then you want to target the fill once again inside the gradient panel and change the angle value to 0 degrees, at which point we end up with this effect here. All right, that really does take care of the mouth, but we still have to address the angry eyes, which is a task for the next movie.